of our newcomers.
You'd vote for this law?
Well, I'm not familiar with exactly what it is, but making the American dream of home ownership available to all people is something we have to do for people who are here now.
This is before you're a citizen. This is undocumented. This is for the undocumented.
Well, what I would like to do is move them to documented. The fact that we can move them to documented. One of the best things that we can do for our economy is to pass comprehensive immigration reform.
That's former Speaker of the House and current wine grandma Nancy Pelosi stunning Bill Maher by saying the quiet part out loud about Democrats' plans for illegals. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and liberals have really gone mask off lately, particularly on immigration, where they've openly stated that undocumented Americans are the group they care about the most, and referred to them as heroes who saved the economy during the pandemic. Here's Nancy Pelosi basically admitting that she wants to grant them all citizenship and free handouts.
The California lawmakers just passed a law, it hasn't been signed by Governor Newsom, but giving government assistance to undocumented immigrants to buy houses. That's kind of a different place than the Democratic Party used to be on immigration, is it not? I'm not going to say that's what the country's going to do, but that's certainly where California is.
Well, let me just say, immigration had always been a bipartisan issue. I refer you to
But not free houses.
Well, that's not free housing. It's the American dream being available to more people. But understand this about immigration. The best speech on immigration was by President Ronald Reagan. This is the last speech I will make as President of the United States. I want to communicate a message to the country I love. And he talked about the Statue of Liberty and the beacon of hope it is to the world, and what America was preeminent in the world because our door was always open, and we will cease to be preeminent when we shut the door. Now, I don't do justice to the great communicator. Google it. It's a fabulous speech. And George Herbert Walker Bush continued in that respect for the diversity of America and the rest. California's always in the lead. Maybe others will follow that lead, but that's up to those states. But we are very blessed here with beautiful diversity.
You've got to love the fake reverence she's now pretending to have for Reagan. But the reality here is that Democrats want a cheap labor base they can exploit that's dependent on the government, will likely vote blue, and temporarily alleviate the catastrophic impact their terrible policies have had through taxation and increasing the population. Because they're aware that all of this anti-natalism, baby bust stuff that they've been pushing is going to be a huge problem for the economy. But instead of trying to incentivize having children or helping struggling Americans, they'd rather import millions of illegal foreigners because of a poem on a statue. You know, call me crazy, but I think the American dream should apply to Americans. Regardless, this wasn't the only lie Pelosi pushed. She also gaslit people on their new default Democrat nominee.
Many times when I'm encouraging people to run, especially more women, to run for office, nothing more wholesome than our political process than that. Aren't we excited about...
Yes, and sometimes you're discouraging people to run. We're not going to get into that.
No,
whatever.
People make their own decisions.
Absolutely they do. Absolutely they do. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for what you didn't do. Last question. But when Joe stepped down, did you want it to be an open convention as opposed to going right to Kamala?
Well, here's the plan. Kamala, it was open. Anybody could have gotten in. She wrapped it up. You have to give her credit for that.
I do, totally. And the Democratic Party, you know what? That's the smartest thing they did. Because they just had a big internal fight. They couldn't afford another one. They would have looked like we always think, oh, they're disorganized, and they just got their you-know-what together. Thank you so much.
You know, this clip is really all you need to see to know that Bill Maher is a political stooge. Look at the reverence he has for an establishment careerist hack like Pelosi. He won't even cuss around her. And this is a guy who's made a career mocking God and Christians and literally said he's fine with murdering babies, which isn't an exaggeration, those are his words. This interview really shows you what God he serves, and whose pocket he's in. I mean, he genuinely seems to believe that drivel Pelosi was spouting about unity, when there's been credible reports that top Democrats pushed Biden out, and he struck back by swiftly endorsing Harris to block an open convention and to leave them with a weak candidate that even Pelosi wasn't a fan of. But let me know what you think. Are illegals entitled to the American dream? Did Democrats really rally and support Harris organically? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. This stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!